Okay, hello everybody. So this is it. It's January now, which I assume is when you're going to be watching this. If you want to do it earlier, awesome. But so what you need to do before the final exam, which is on January 13th to January 16th, you pick any one of these days. It opens at 9 a.m. and it closes at 9 p.m. on the 16th. Okay, so you have to do it within those 4 days. You only get one shot at it, and you need 2.5 hours to just sit down and do it. Preferably with some backup internet, a phone hotspot, for example. So, anyways, what I really encourage you guys to do is go into this review sheet which I've created for you and read it really quickly. So you can see here, this is all the stuff that we've read, and this is all the stuff that's going to be on the final exam. And I've put some details here, which you guys should be able to see here soon. But basically, so it's worth 30% of your final grade, okay? So 30% of it. It's the biggest thing we've done so far. So you have to make sure you read these questions carefully. It goes over everything that we've done in the course. The poems are not required, but you will probably benefit with them during the essay section. So how it's going to be formatted here, as you can see here, I'll zoom in a bit. So it's formatted into three things. So section one, multiple choice. You have 20 multiple choice questions. It's two on all of the short stories that we have read. So two questions on each short story. Okay. The next one is short answer, and that goes over our four novels, right? We had Night, we had Animal Farm, we had Lord of the Flies, and we had Hamlet. So all four of those have their own short answer one. Now, this is where you're just going to write a paragraph or two, okay? But it is expected that you're going to be using formal writing, right? Treat it like almost like an essay paragraph. And then the third section is essays. You are writing two of them. You are doing two essays live. Because you're doing them live, it doesn't need to have the same oomph as a prepared one that we spent a couple weeks on. So you need to do that all within those 2.5 hours. So you do not have a lot of time. And we are tracking everything during these finals. So each of those finals were 20%. So multiple choices worth 40%. The short answers were 20%, which means the remaining 40% comes from those two essays, which they're worth 20% each. Now, really important to note here, one of these essays references three things we've looked at. It can be movies, it can be poems, it can be short stories, but you're talking about three separate things. So you should have an introduction, paragraph one. Paragraph two should be talking about, let's say it's Animal Farm. Paragraph three should be talking about, let's say, Lord of the Flies. Paragraph four should be talking about, I don't know, The Guest. You just pick, so it's just boom, boom, boom. It's text one, text two, text three, conclusion. Intro, one, two, three, conclusion. Just like our normal essay. Then your second essay looks at one character. This needs to be your strongest character because you need to write a whole essay on one person. One person. So very important that you know what you're coming in and talking about. Now, obviously, we can't control if you guys use your notes for this. So, I'm not going to stop you. That said, you don't have a lot of time. So if you're sitting there trying to find the answer, you'll run out of time. And like I said, we do track everything for this. So how are you supposed to study for this? Well, the first thing I recommend, first off, read this. First thing you should do, this big chart up here, do it by memory. What do you remember about The Guest? Do you remember what the character, what the themes are, what the symbols are, any important quotes, who the author is? Do you remember any of that? And if you remember a lot of it, you probably don't need to study it that much. But if you're like, what's The Guest? You need to study that. So go through each of these line, like each story by story by story by story by story by story. The highlights don't mean anything. I don't know why I did that. Go through them story by story by story, and then you need to see what you remember, and then go back into the stories, go back in your notes, and try and fill in the blanks. Right. So that's the first thing you do. After that, I said you review it. Read through 10 guiding questions. These ones here. Could you answer these with the stuff we've read? Can you answer this question? Who or what are we? using these things. What makes us unique? What does it mean to be a human being? Hey, you might want to read about Night there, how it was dehumanizing. What about our human nature? Are humans violent? Do we grasp the power naturally? Is there anything we've read that you can use to support that argument? And so you're going through all 10 of these and just thinking, like, how could I answer this? What could I use? What have I read that I could use for this? So those are those 10 questions there. And then finally, look at the released exam questions. You're going to get options for your exams, okay? So you can try and like formulate some stuff here. These are some old ones that have been done. These are Ministry of Education ones. This is where I get them. This is where your other instructor gets them as well. So make sure you give those a read and same thing. How would I study for that? Well, I would think, how would I answer it? Maybe you want to answer. Maybe just do an outline. Review. Well, what's a 5-paragraph essay again? I don't remember. What's formal writing again? What's a thesis? What's a conclusion? How do I do that? So you should be doing all that stuff there. So yeah, I'll let you guys get into that. You should be spending a couple days reviewing before you jump into the final. You will do a lot better. All right. Well, good luck on the final and congratulations.